Today we are going to read Chapter 21, The Unexpected Happens, from the book Heidi, written by Joanna Speary. Uncle Alp stood outside the next morning. He looked up at the sky to make sure it would be good weather for the journey up the mountain to the pastures. The girls were looking forward to the trip so much that he hated to disappoint them. But it looked like a fine day, so he brought out Clara's wheelchair and put it in front of the hut before going inside to wake the girls. After a big breakfast, Heidi, Clara, and grandfather began the trip up the mountain. When they reached the pasture, they saw the goats grazing peacefully in little groups, and Peter stretched out full length on the ground. Now, enjoy yourselves, said Uncle Alp as he prepared to leave them. Your dinner is in the bag over there in the shed. There was not a cloud in the deep blue sky. The two girls sat side by side, as happy and contented as could be. From time to time, one of the goats came and lay down beside them. After a while, Heidi asked Clara if she would mind waiting while she ran up to the meadow to pick flowers. Clara told Heidi it was fine and that she would enjoy sitting peacefully and feeding the goats. To Clara, this strange new experience was very exciting. To be here all by herself and out of doors in such a beautiful place, with the little goat eating so trustfully out of her hand, was all so delightful. She had never expected to know such happiness, and it gave her a new idea of what it must mean to be like other girls, healthy and free. The thought seemed to add something special to the day and to her own happiness. Suddenly, Heidi raced back to Clara. Oh, the flowers are so beautiful! You simply must come and see them too. Do you think I can carry you? Clara shook her head. She knew that Heidi was too small to carry her, and the chair could never be wheeled up the steep incline. She wanted to walk more than ever now. Heidi called up to Peter, who came down to the pasture. She told him to hold Clara up on one side while she took the other. Together they helped her to her feet. So far, so good, but Clara could not keep upright without support. They tried several different methods, but still Clara flopped heavily between them. Since Peter was taller than Heidi, Clara was up on one side and down on the other. She tried putting one foot in front of the other, but she drew it back quickly. Try just putting one foot down firmly, said Heidi. I'm sure it would hurt less. Clara took Heidi's advice, and sure enough, it really did not hurt half so much. Try again, urged Heidi, and Clara did so, taking several more steps. Oh, Heidi, she cried, look at me. I'm walking. Yes, you are. You are. All by yourself. Oh, I wish grandfather was here. Clara still kept hold of Heidi and Peter, but with each step they could feel her getting steadier on her feet. Heidi was quite wild with excitement. Now we can come up to the pasture every day and wander about wherever we like, Heidi exclaimed. And you'll never have to be pushed about in a wheelchair again. Oh, isn't it wonderful? And Clara agreed from the bottom of her heart. Nothing could have been more wonderful to her than to be strong and able to move around like other people. It was not much farther to Heidi's special spot, where Clara was able to sit down on the warm grass among all the beautiful flowers. She was so affected by all that had happened to her that she was silent as she gazed at all the lovely colors and smelled the delicious scents. After a while, Clara, Heidi, and Peter unpacked the lunch grandfather had given them. They were all hungry, but Clara and Heidi were really too excited to eat very much. Not long after they finished their meal, Uncle Alp arrived to take them home. Heidi saw him coming and ran to meet him, eager to be the first one to tell him the amazing news. She was so excited that she could hardly get the words out, but he gathered what she meant at once, and his face lit up. He went over to where Clara was sitting and gave her an understanding smile as he said, "Something attempted, something won. This proves you're a strong girl. I'm very proud." He gave her some support, and she was able to walk even better than before. But after a short while, he suggested they rest and not overdo on the first day. That evening, Uncle Alp suggested that the girls write Clara's grandmother. He told them to invite her for a big surprise. The next days were the happiest Clara had ever known. Her walking thought each morning was, "I'm well, I can walk." Each day she went a little farther alone, and the exercise gave her such an appetite that Uncle Alp gave her seconds at each meal. This pleased Uncle Alp, and he took a special pride in Clara's recovery. He felt that the mountain air and all the love he and Heidi felt for the girl had helped her get well. During that week, Heidi visited Granny to tell her the good news. As happy as the old woman was for Clara, she herself was not feeling well, and it was hard for her to share in the excitement. Her bed was hard and uncomfortable, but she had to stay there all day. She was too ill to work at her spinning wheel. This made Heidi very unhappy, for she could not help thinking about the wonderful bed she had had at Clara's house in the city. It had many fine fluffy pillows and a soft mattress. Oh, how she wished she could have that very bed for Granny. The end. Hope you enjoyed the story, and we'll be back with chapter 22. Goodbye for the present. Until then, take care.